What's up guys? In today's video we're going to be comparing the DMR and the Type 63 as these are the two most prevalent ranged weapons in Warzone at the moment. It's just being dominated by DMRs and nothing can really compare to them. So in terms of loadouts, there's not much to talk about aside from which DMR do you use. So which of these two weapons are you going to end up using in Warzone? If you guys do enjoy this video or find it helpful, give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, and comment down below which of these weapons you prefer. So before we get into anything, I just want to say that these weapons are incredibly similar. There are differences between them, but even those differences are very, very minute. Like the differences between the two, like the fire rate, for example. One has a higher fire rate, but they're so close, it's almost negligible. That's how it is for basically every stat. So a lot of it's just going to come down to the feel for the weapon and which one you prefer on a feeling basis. It's like Coke versus Pepsi. They're incredibly similar. Some people prefer Coke, some people prefer Pepsi, and it's just how it is. There's not really one that's necessarily better than the other, and I think that's how it is for these DMRs. So I'm going to focus mainly on the Type 63 because I feel like the DMR is the more popular one, so I want to talk about what the Type 63 does. The Type 63, what it does better than the DMR, it has a slightly faster aim down sight speed. It has a slightly more bullet velocity, and the number between the two bullet velocities with these weapons isn't extremely different, but from my experience using them in game, I feel like the Type 63 has much better bullet velocity. Even though it doesn't, they're very close. For whatever reason, the connection and the detection for the Type 63, my shots just seem to register much more, whereas the DMR 14, the bullet velocity feels horrible. I feel like I'm using a paintball gun trying to shoot somebody at range, and we can just clearly watch the bullet, like where it's going. It's weird how close the numbers are, but how different they actually feel. I feel like this is one of the biggest differences between the two weapons. The other biggest difference between the two weapons is that the Type 63 has much more recoil and much more noticeable recoil. But this can actually be a plus for close to medium range because of how dominant headshots are with these DMRs. Headshots do 175 damage. It kills people incredibly quickly. If you hit 2 body shots and a headshot, the person's dead. If you hit 2 headshots, the person's dead. Headshots will drastically decrease your time to kill with these DMRs. And because the Type 63 has more recoil, it's more likely that you'll get accidental headshots if you're aiming center mass. The DMR has much more manageable recoil so that you can actually intentionally aim for headshots. But if you're someone who's been playing COD for a long time, you're likely not in the hang of doing that because headshots have rarely been that relevant in Call of Duty. If you can aim for headshots consistently and get them with the DMR 14, I think it's a much better choice. But if you just want to aim center mass and full spam and close to medium range, the Type 63 is going to be better for you and you're probably going to kill people much faster. I typically just aim center mass and I feel like I've been getting way more headshots with the Type 63 than I typically do with the DMR. I think that's the biggest difference between these two weapons is just how you want to aim. If you just want to be kind of lazy and aim center mass all the time and just hope you get lucky headshots, as dumb as that sounds, the Type 63 is probably going to be the one for you. The DMR 14, if you want to be more precise, you have very good aim, and you can actually go for those headshots and hit them reliably, you're probably going to like that one. The Type 63 also has 5 more bullets in the mag, and even though it seems counterintuitive, like when I look at these weapons, I think of the Type 63 as the more medium to close range version and the DMR as the long range version. The DMR actually shoots faster, which is a pretty big deal. They both have a fatal flaw in terms of range though. The Type 63 has better bullet velocity but worse recoil, making it harder to use at range because of the recoil. The DMR 14 has much more manageable recoil, but it feels like it has horrible bullet velocity to me in terms of long range. So there's really no perfect scenario in terms of which of these are best for long range. It's just going to come down to which you prefer. Would you rather deal with the bullet velocity or would you rather deal with the recoil? There's no like consistency between these two weapons, and the damage is basically identical and the damage range is basically identical. Both of these DMRs never have a drop-off point, so they have basically infinite damage range. It's an irrelevant stat. They're going to kill in 5 body shots or 2 headshots or 2 body shots and 1 headshot basically. So yeah, that's the differences between these two weapons. The Type 63 has more recoil, but that might end up letting you get some lucky headshots, has a slightly faster ADS, slightly faster bullet velocity. But at the end of the day, these weapons are so similar that it's really just going to come down for feel and preference. I'm going to have my class set up here for the Type 63, what I was using, and I'm going to explain it. So this is the class setup we're going to be using for the Type 63. We're going to be using the GRU suppressor. This is basically the agency suppressor or the monolithic suppressor. They all do the same thing. You get added damage range, you get sound suppression, and you get better bullet velocity. It doesn't say it on the weapon, but a lot of the Cold War attachments are currently bugged, so they do different properties than what they actually say in game. That's what's going to bring us next to this barrel. A lot of people are going to go for the task force because damage range, and bullet velocity, that sounds incredible, but it doesn't actually increase bullet velocity. Damage range doesn't matter on the DMRs because they have infinite damage range. And then if it does add damage, that added damage doesn't actually change the shots to kill. So this barrel is not worth using. We're going to go for the titanium barrel. This is the barrel you should be using on both your DMRs, the Type 63 or the DMR 14, whichever one you prefer. This is going to increase your fire rate. It also increases your bullet velocity, which is how fast your bullets travel to the opponent. It's very important in Warzone. And I know it doesn't say that it increases bullet velocity, but JGod found this out and tested it. The trusted member or trusted creator in the Call of Duty community. The attachments are just bugged and they don't say what they actually do for the Cold War weapons. We're going to be using the Axial Arms 3X optic. Spetsnaz ergonomic grip. This is basically the same as the Field Agent 4 grip. It's just the attachments have different names between the Russian and the American weapons. And then finally, we're going to be using the Serpent wrap. The added ADS time, or ADS, like, the benefit you get is not very large with the Serpent wrap or any of these wraps. So you could put on one of the larger mags if you want to, especially if you're playing trios, duos, quads, any of those team modes. I would definitely prefer to put on the larger mag over the Serpent wrap. I just mostly play solos, so I find 25 rounds to be just fine. And that's going to be the class setup for this. If you really don't like the recoil, you could maybe put on the KGB Eliminator. This is going to decrease the recoil, and it does give you muzzle flash, so it's not going to impact your shots at all seeing the muzzle flash. And this doesn't keep you off the radar, but it makes that red dot when you shoot persist for less time. So it is still a pretty relevant attachment, and it could be very effective on these DMRs. That's going to be the class setup for the Type 63 though. This is what I was using in the video. But that's basically going to be it for this video. I'm going to let the gameplay play out. You guys can watch that. If you guys do enjoy this video, if you found it helpful, give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, and comment down below which of these two weapons you prefer. I'm really interested to see which of these actually comes out on top. Thanks for watching. Like, awkward players are so much more dangerous with the DMRs. Like, if it's like a kilo, they maybe beam you a little bit, you play it up, you reset the fight, you know where they are now, so they're kind of fucked. But with the DMR, they kill you on that initial attack. Great, he's gonna get in the building.
Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
Requesting recon.
UAV entering the AO. Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
Disregard that.
Bro. Glitch is so annoying. Like, I can't even see what I'm shooting at for some reason. Like, how do I fix this?
I'll try.
Like, the scope is just, like, busted now. Do you think Warzone is fair with the DMR in the game? What do you mean by fair? Because I don't see how it could be unfair. Everyone has the gun and can level it. It's whack, and I would prefer for it to be nerfed or just removed until they nerf it. But unfair isn't the word I would use. Like, once I start shooting, I can't see anything.
Losing ground.
Gonna shuttle these doors. You have to drop the gun, run 50 meters away from it, and pick it back up. If you're trolling, I'm gonna be upset at you.
Sniper rifle marked.
Fuck, that's not 50 meters? Alright. Bro, if someone was spectating me... Oh, there is somebody spectating me right now. They're probably so confused. Hold, it did work. That's such a free kill when you hear somebody running outside your building, because like, why would they expect someone to jump out? 99% of Warzone players just hide forever. You don't have to jump out.
Gas is closing in. Relocate to the safe zone. You made it through.
That was so free once we killed that guy out of that building. He was just like checking me so hard. Like I couldn't make a play on the other guy because he would have third-partied me.